Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another CYPRX video banger. In today's video, we're going to be diving into XRP's price action. I'm going to show you all a mindset from average retail investors, show you all supporting information that shows you in detail why the price of digital assets, particularly focused on XRP, moved and appreciated in value today, how we've been covering these things, and how, again, by understanding and learning fundamentals properly, you can tap in to these price fluctuations before they happen. So if you all enjoy these video breakdowns, jumping into technical analysis, showing you guys, picking apart the details, really educating you all as my followers as to why price appreciation or depreciation in digital assets is taking place, do us a favor, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. So as we go on, I'm also going to show you all some of the information that we give to the private CYPRX community and how you all could have utilized that to your advantage and how other members of our private community are utilizing it to their benefit. So let's jump into this screen share. And I want to just first bring up why I'm even making this video breakdown. So this gentleman right here, Moon Lambo, and he asked the question, is there any explanation as to why the prices of digital assets both rose and value together today? So in this post, he said, and again, I'm not calling Moon Lambo out or anything disrespectful like that, but this is why we need to be educated as a community, as investors involved in risk assets. That's particular, that's key. So that way we know these things. So I'm going to teach you all today. And I'm going to physically show you guys, because a lot of people, a lot of investors in the XRP community think that XRP had a bullish move today because of the stablecoin announcement. I'm going to physically show you guys timestamps as to how that is not even logical to think. Okay. So as the price of XRP started moving on the news of the new Ripple stablecoin, the price of Bitcoin started moving up much more dramatically at the same exact minute. I'm going to, again, disprove that. That is not correct. I'm going to show you guys how it actually started moving before the news came out. And the minutes leading up to both XRP and Bitcoin were slightly creeping up in price, and then bam, simultaneously they moved up much more dramatically. It looks to me like Bitcoin responded to XRP's price action news, which we have seen before. The same thing happened on July 13th last year when XRP received legal clarity. If there is another explanation, I'm all ears. So listen up, Moon Lambo. Let me show you all some of the information that we put out days in advance. Here is a video clip of myself over 2 days ago, letting our private community know that, number one, I have buy limits set at roughly around 58.5 cents, that I was looking for a drop into 58 cents for potential buys to be triggered for price to come back to the upside. And I was letting our private community know to be paying attention to fundamental factors that could create a risk on market environment and an ideal scenario for risk assets to flourish. Take a second and listen. XRP has come down into our area of interest where we mentioned in previous video breakdowns what we were looking for. If the market wasn't going to continue high above 62 cents, we were looking for price on the higher time frame to come back down into these lower areas of interest where market makers were buying from back at the beginning of March. I'm personally sitting on my hands and waiting to see if we can get 58 cents. Why? Because you can see back at the end of February, 58 cents was a very interesting area of interest where market makers were buying. Same thing here at the very beginning of March, then also in the middle of March. I wouldn't be surprised if they are just building liquidity underneath the lows right now, and then potentially going to drop price down one more time back into those lows at roughly around 58 cents. So I have buy limit set at roughly around 58,500 with a stop loss set at 55 cents. So this is what the position looks like. Looking into tomorrow's New York session, our main focus is just going to be unemployment claims and then some scattered Fed speakers. Remember, the ideal scenario for unemployment claims is we would want these readings to come out higher than previous readings and higher than market forecast. Remember that anything below 220,000 can still be seen by the market as optimistic labor market data. So the ideal scenario for us to see weakness in the dollar would be for us to see more people filing for unemployment claims and for that number to come out closer to 220,000. So if tomorrow, for example, this reading came out at 217,000, that would be bad for the dollar because it signals more people are filing for unemployment and need help from the government stimulus. So now with that information out of the way, again, we gave those insights to our private community members days in advance. As of time of recording this video, it is now Thursday, right? So here I said, breaking fundamentals. XRP bounces off March lows after weak US data. In our analysis discussed yesterday during our Zoom meeting, we identified a key factor for the recovery of risk assets and the depreciation of the dollar, i.e., higher unemployment claims was the most ideal scenario that we wanted to see play out to see a favorable risk-on environment. And today, the release of the U.S. labor market data confirmed this outlook as unemployment claims came in worse than expected, putting immediate downward pressure on the dollar and fostering a favorable market environment for risk assets. The increase in initial claims to 221,000, up by 9,000 claims from the previous week, underscores the economic challenges ahead, prompting investors to anticipate potential rate cuts even further by the Federal Reserve, which we know has been the sentiment driving demand for risk assets since late October 2023. If you guys have been followers of the work that we've committed ourselves to here at CYPRX, you'd know that, right? So this expectation of monetary policy easing supports the narrative of a supportive environment for risk taking as it signals the central bank's commitment to potential stimulate economic growth. Moreover, recent statements from Fed officials that we got yesterday and the previous day from Daly, Mester, and Chair Jerome Powell reiterating the possibility of rate cuts in 2024 have also further bolstered market expectations and confidence in this rate cut trajectory, contributing to a positive risk sentiment among investors. This is again why it is important to be a part of a community that is ahead of the curve, actively educating our members. Remember, we gave all this information out days in advance to our private community. And here you can see some screenshots of some private community members taking advantage of dollar cost average positions on XRP when price was either below or at 58 cents, right? So now here are the fundamental factors. Remember, you can track this information on Forex Factory, and I want you all to particularly focus on the time in which this came out. This fundamental came out today, Thursday, April 4th at 5:30 a.m. Pacific time, and how that correlates to Eastern time is 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, all right? And we know that higher unemployment claims has a negative implication on the U.S. labor market, which tends to weigh on the strength of the United States dollar. When the United States dollar is down, investors tend to hedge against that depreciation of said domestic currency by investing in riskier assets like cryptocurrency in this case. All right. You can see another fundamental report just to show you guys that this information came out today. Now, let's go over to the charts, and I want to physically show you guys that yes, maybe some of the fundamentals surrounding the stablecoin news had an impact on the market, but I'm going to show you guys that that is not what started the sentiment and the risk on market mood driving price higher. So you can see here, looking at when this fundamental piece came out at 5:30 a.m. That is when, if you look down at the bottom of my charts, XRP actually started its bullish move. Looking down at the bottom of my screen, you can see 5:30 a.m. is when we had this higher low, and then this bullish massive impulsive move take place on XRP. Now, looking at when Ripple actually posted this fundamental, you can see that was at 6:09 a.m. Pacific here in California. Now, correlating that to the charts, looking down at the bottom of my screen, you can see that Ripple actually posted this at a high. And that, at the end of the day, if you want to correlate this in the form of fundamentals, actually is when profit taking started to happen. You can see that Ripple posted this tweet on their Twitter page or on their X profile at 6:09 a.m. Here's the timestamp. And you can see on the charts correlated by looking down at the bottom of my screen, 6:09 was this top candlestick here, 6:10 was this candlestick here, and then 6:11 was this candlestick here, and then the market started to pull back. So the thing driving risk sentiment in the market today was not this fundamental report from Ripple that they're going to be creating a stablecoin. It was the risk on market mood and the increase in investor appetite for risk assets because of the depreciation of the United States dollar, the upbeat risk sentiment that was driven by higher unemployment claims. All right. And again, we showed you all just now in previous video breakdowns how we gave this information to our community days ago. So I'm hoping that to answer Moon Lambo's question, if there is another explanation, I'm all ears. This does exactly that. I just physically showed you all that, in fact, at the time that Ripple put this fundamental piece out is actually when profit taking took place on XRP, not when XRP started to appreciate in value. Really understanding these fundamentals in and out will give you an advantage in the market. Okay. Now, let me also show you something else very significant about our community. Remember, institutional scalper in our community gives institutionalized delta zones. Let me physically show you all how accurate these zones are. So if we go to our private community on April 2nd, you can see the timestamp here. On April 2nd, roughly around 12:12 p.m. All right. Our institutional scalper gave out these delta zones. And you can see the buy deltas right here. If I zoom in, roughly around the 55,827 and the 56312. Now, when he gave these deltas out, price was roughly around 59 cents. Well, if we go and we look at the charts, where XRP price action was at when our institutional scalper actually sent this screenshot. Again, I love to give you guys timestamps. Nothing matters unless the influencers and the people that you're watching on social media can actually give you timestamps to show you that they were putting information out in advance. Here you can see Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024, 12:12 p.m. when we gave these bullish targets, these buy areas of interest via institutional deltas ahead of the curve. This is where XRP's price action was at, circled by this green area of interest. Okay. Now, in correlation with that, I also gave the private community members my personal analysis, where you can see here, again, ahead of the move, I said on Tuesday, April 2nd at 9:15 p.m., same intraday analysis on XRP still stands. I am bullish above 58 cents, looking for targets of the high 60-cent range. Original analysis that I sent to you all on XRP is coming into fruition, which was a deeper pullback down into March lows of 58 cents for a potential sweep of liquidity. And as of time of sending this message, price has held above 58 cents, which was my entry with the stop loss at 55 cents. So I particularly break down piece by piece my entries, my exits, and also where my stop loss is at. Now, let's go and look at the timestamp, 9:15 p.m., April 2nd, when I put this message out to the private community members. Keep in mind that our members had these buy levels a day in advance compared to where I actually put my private analysis out. And you can see down at the bottom of my screen, April 2nd, roughly around 9 p.m. Pacific time, right? So not only did the students have and the monthly members have access to institutionalized delta zones out of the curve, but they also had access to my private analysis. And remember the video breakdowns I just showed you guys, my fundamental analysis explaining why price action could potentially reverse back to the upside, given the risk environment that we could see during today's trading session. Now, fast forward, we saw, again, looking at those buy levels that our institutional scalper gave in advance right here, you can see that price dropped straight down into the 56,312. Institutions bought from right at the top of the buy delta, and boom, they injected liquidity into the market. So again, I just proved to you all that Ripple, the post via the fundamentals surrounding stablecoins, was put out at a high. I showed you all how the fundamentals, right, supported the appreciation of risk assets at 530 before the stablecoin news came out. And then what I just showed you all is that these financial institutions were actually buying at roughly around the 56,312 psychological level down here at this bottom the day before these fundamentals and the day before the Ripple news came out, all the way down here at psychological levels that we were giving to our private community an entire day in advance. Physically showing you guys this information. I hope that you all are really tapped in. I've been attempting to try and show people this and give information well in advance by simply just understanding fundamentals, having logical technical analysis. You see in our private community, the technical analysis that I'm giving, even the screenshots ahead of the curve. Here's the message that I sent to the private community members on Tuesday, April 2nd at 9:15 p.m. with screenshots. Many blessings to you guys. I hope that this clears the air and really shows you all that the mainstream media, the normal way of thinking, the retail herd mindset is not going to make you successful. Thinking that because Ripple posted something on their Twitter is driving demand for XRP is the most illogical way to think, especially when you can pick this information apart piece by piece with timestamps. So as always, trying to bring you guys the realest information. You all know that I'm extremely bullish on XRP. As always, many blessings to you guys. Be cognizant, be aware out there, be careful of the information that you're soaking up and who you follow, and really try to educate yourselves This information is very readily available to each and every single person, especially if you join a community like ours where we try to put this information out in advance to our private members. If you all want to access our private Discord, you guys can visit CYPRXtrading.com. We only have about 69 positions left before we cut access to the general public. We'd love to have you on the team. Hopefully I'll see you there, but I will see you all in the next video breakdown.